Hi, it's Ashley. Welcome to my channel and my video all about the Chinese education system. Let's get started. The Chinese education system has four main categories that include early childhood education, basic education, higher education, and adult education. In this video, we'll discuss each category, what is and is not compulsory, and how education is funded. Let's start with early childhood education. Chinese culture highly prizes education, so it's no wonder that early childhood education plays a very important role in their society. Chinese parents can place their children in the care of a nursery until about 3 years old. Then, kindergartens are available for children aged 3 to 6. But in some areas of China, children as young as 2 can be enrolled in kindergarten. In many areas, preschool classes are also available that are designed for children aged 5 to 6. Currently, early childhood education is not compulsory. In other words, it's not required by the Chinese government. Despite this, the preschool education market in China is booming. Data from II Media, a market consultancy company, indicated that in 2018, the preschool market in China was worth a staggering 230 billion yuan. That is well over 35 billion in US dollars, and that number is climbing steadily every year. While the Chinese government primarily focuses available funds on compulsory education, in 2019 it issued a policy to contribute to building and making kindergartens a standard in China. Many local governments have also been working to make continuous care and education the standard from birth to age 6. However, local governments face many obstacles to making this a reality China-wide, including a lack of resources. However, many private preschools and kindergartens stand ready to fill the gap left by public preschool education services. Basic education. In China, the government requires that each child have 9 years of national compulsory education. This includes 6 years of primary school and 3 years of secondary education, also called junior middle school. Compulsory education is provided free of charge by the Chinese government. When a child reaches the age of 6, their primary education usually starts and lasts for 6 years. At about the age of 12, the child's secondary education starts and is compulsory for 3 years. Then, when the child is about 15 years old, they can quit school or opt to sit for the senior high school entrance exam. The test is called zhongkao in Chinese. Sitting for the test is the norm, as not doing so can affect the student's ability to get a decent job later. Plus, most Chinese parents would probably not tolerate their child quitting school. If the student passes the exam, and the vast majority do, they can continue their education by choosing either an academic or vocational path. Those on the academic path move on to 3 years of senior secondary education that focuses on their choice of a natural or social science. Whatever they choose to study decides what they will be tested on later if they want to move on to college. Vocational students enter a vocational senior middle school for 2 to 4 years of training in their desired field. Higher education. If a Chinese person wants to attend college, they must take the National College Entrance Exam. The exam is called Gaokao in Chinese. Every year, millions of students opt to take the exam. If a student successfully passes the Gaokao, they can then pursue a degree at a college or university. Whether or not it's the college of their choice, however, depends on their score on the exam and their acceptance by the college. Adult education. Adult education in China is often geared toward reducing illiteracy in remote areas and educating the working class. Other functions of adult education in China include 1. Providing training for job seekers and those who've been unable to meet job requirements. 2. Providing an education for those who've left formal schools. 3. Providing continuing education to those who have received a higher education with the purpose of refreshing or enhancing their abilities. And 4. Providing education that enriches the community, such as lessons in art, calligraphy, cooking, cultural interests, elder care, family life, gardening, health topics, and more. If you're enjoying this video, please smash that like button. Now, let's get back to our lesson. Chinese school terms and hours. First, let's talk about school terms. China's students have 2. The first runs from February to mid-July and is followed by a 6-week summer vacation. The second term starts in September and ends sometime between the middle and end of January. It is followed by a 4-week winter vacation. One of the key differences between school terms in the East and the West lies with the significance placed on holidays. In the West, Christmas and New Year's are the most important holidays of the year. And since Christmas always falls on December 25th and New Year's Day on January 1st, children in the U.S. are always off from school during that time. Usually, their break runs from December 23rd through the middle of January. In China, however, Chinese New Year's is the most significant holiday of the year. Every year, the date for Chinese New Year's changes. This is because it falls between January 21st and February 20th, on the date that the new moon appears. The date for the holiday may change, but one thing remains certain. Children are always in the midst of a 4-week winter vacation when Chinese New Year's arrives. School hours. As a whole, Chinese people are often thought of as well-educated people. This is no doubt in part due to the rigorous schedule young students face in preparation for the National College Entrance Exam. In both the East and the West, the average time classes start is about 7:30 a.m., and that is where the similarity in schedule ends. On average, children in the U.S. spend about 6.6 hours at school with a 45-minute lunch break. While after-school study centers like Kumon have gained popularity in recent years, they are still far from the norm for the average Western child. In China, however, once a child hits secondary school, it is not uncommon for their school day to average 12 to 14 hours. Yes, you heard that right. This starts with the regular school day ending at about 6 p.m. with a 2-hour lunch break. Then, after school, many schools offer self-study classes that last until about 9 p.m. If no self-study classes are offered, most Chinese parents stand prepared to ensure that their children complete all of their homework and test preparation at home. It is not unique for a child to sit in front of homework until 10 p.m. So, why so many hours of study a day? Well, China has one of the largest populations on the planet, and more people equals more competition. To say competition is fierce is an understatement. Chinese children compete on local entrance exams to move on to senior secondary school. They compete on the Gaokao, hoping for placement in the best universities. And when their education is complete, they then compete for available jobs. To help students have an edge, many schools also offer weekend classes in math and science. Also, many parents resort to private tutors and cram schools to ensure their child has the best possible chance. Yes, There is no room for slackers in Chinese society. If you do not keep up with your peers, you may struggle to find employment or end up in a labor job. Tell us what you think in the comments below, and tell us what education is like in your country. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please boop that like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.